Hi, my name is Hayley Niad, and on behalf of my colleagues Olivia Machel and Zaida Cabral from Mozambique, I'm presenting on our study of teachers' perceptions of coaching in the Food for Knowledge program located in Maputo Province, Mozambique. Our project is funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, and it's delivered in collaboration with Planet Aid, ADPP Mozambique, and Cambridge Education. We have a few key aims of our project, including school feeding, nutrition, water and sanitation, and early grade literacy, which will be the focus of this presentation. So to summarize a little bit about what our intervention has done to date, the FFK2 program, or the Food for Knowledge 2 program, has been operational since 2016, and we're now in the final year of the program in 2020. Our literacy component focuses on teachers in grades 1, 2, and 3 in Maputo Province, and we've worked with approximately 511 teachers. Our methodology focuses on the 5 components of literacy, and we've developed a number of materials over the course of the project. This includes teachers' guides, as well as a number of student materials like textbooks, workbooks, decodable readers, level readers, and read-aloud books. We also deliver regular teacher training workshops, and we offer school-based coaching support, which is the subject of this presentation. We have approximately one coach working with every 15 to 20 classroom teachers. The motivation for this study is to really understand the voice and opinions of teachers themselves about how coaching has affected their practice. We also know from research that there is a statistical value add to coaching as a activity in projects, which we have seen from other research as well. The methodology for our study consisted of 16 actual total questions, but among those we aimed to answer 3 specific questions, which are: number 1, what are teachers' perceptions and experiences of literacy coaching in our program? Number 2, what aspects of this coaching have been most supportive to them in their pedagogical development? And number 3, how can we improve literacy coaching to support teachers' instruction moving forward? So for this, we interviewed 25 classroom teachers who actually derived from 25 different literacy coaches. And of course, due to COVID, all of our interviews were conducted remotely by phone. So here I'll explain some of the core findings of the study we conducted. In terms of how teachers perceive the experience of the literacy coaching they receive through our program, we've observed that they found coach support extremely relevant to their needs because it focused on the areas that were not familiar to them through their past experience. So specifically, our program uses the 5 components of literacy, which are not a methodology that has featured frequently in previous training to teachers in this province. We also use a bilingual education model. So that means that teachers are largely speaking in local languages, Shangana or Ranga, and using texts to teach children to read in these languages, and reinforcing this through oral language instruction in Portuguese in separate lessons. So this is the first time that many of these teachers have participated in bilingual education in their schools. So it's fairly new, and it's something that needs a lot of support. Finally, we do emphasize formative evaluation in our training and our teachers' guides, and so this is another skill set that's new to many of the teachers, and therefore the coaching can help support that. In terms of teachers' relationship with coaches, out of a scale from 1 to 5, most teachers gave their coaches a 4 or 5, noting a number of strengths, including that the coaches are patient, that they help them to simulate and motivate them through simulation of lessons. They help them to plan lessons. They help to reinforce what they're learning in the trainings. They clarify doubts about challenging technical areas, and they serve as supportive friends. So these characteristics show that teachers are getting support from coaches in planning and simulating their lessons, learning new technical skills, and supporting them through patience and practice. We've even seen one teacher say, "Now I'm the focal point for my colleagues," meaning that the coaching relationship has helped that teacher to develop enough confidence to even support others in the school. In terms of the relationship between teachers and coaches, we also identified a few characteristics of these strong coaches. They're respectful, supportive, understanding, available. They offer praise to teachers and constructive criticism, and they've used a number of technologies to engage teachers remotely, including phone, SMS, and WhatsApp. Thinking further about what we recommend literacy coaching can consider in the future to support teachers' literacy instruction. We definitely recommend that additional coach training on early grade reading may be useful. We've observed in our own practice that despite providing coaches with years of training, and that these coaches are largely former classroom teachers, a number of them still struggle themselves to master certain foundational literacy skills. We also recommend increased involvement of school leadership in bilingual education training. So while we did involve school leadership in a number of training workshops throughout the years, unfortunately these workshops were fairly short in duration, and we also noticed a wide variety of response from school leaders in the trainings, from those who were fairly unmotivated or offered limited investment in bilingual education to those who were extremely motivated and very active in the programming in their schools. We also suggest creating an online platform to support teachers and to promote more sharing moving forward, particularly as we aim to sustain these efforts over longer periods of time. Certainly, we reflect on a number of limitations and other considerations about the study. For one, we noticed that most teachers were extremely positive when they reviewed the performance of their coaches in the program. And we suspect that this may be related to some cultural traditions and beliefs about avoiding criticism of others. So we may not have received the full breadth of feedback on coach performance. We also observe that certain challenges might present in a bilingual program where some classroom teachers are not native language speakers. This is a fairly limited occurrence in our own case, but it's certainly something to bear in mind as bilingual education expands in Mozambique. We've also observed that some of our own feedback and observations about both coach and teacher performance were not reflected by the teachers themselves in their own feedback about this program. So, for example, we've observed that teachers generally afford very limited time for independent reading practice, which we consider to be an important priority in literacy instruction. But teachers themselves didn't focus on this as an area of feedback. So it leads us to conclude that we still have a lot of work to do in transforming teacher and coach understandings about literacy practices and development, and that moving forward we may want to consider even clearer coaching indicators in terms of coach performance. We do have job descriptions for our coaches, but we consider that perhaps moving forward we can be even clearer and more structured about how we measure this performance. So in recapping what we've learned from this study, we definitely feel that it helped to offer new insights to us, and it also motivated the participating teachers who felt fairly humbled and grateful to be consulted on their experiences. They definitely expressed that they value their coaches. And we can also see this, that teachers really have made huge strides in their knowledge and skills in bilingual education and literacy instruction, thanks in part to the support that they receive from their coaches. But at the same time, we realized that the 3 years that we've really been delivering this coaching program is far too short a time to realize radical transformation in teaching practice. And it really needs more time to concretize and practice and to build the skill sets of both coaches and teachers. We're grateful that bilingual education features in the Mozambican government's own strategic implementation plans. However, it's still a new methodology for most of the teachers we're working with, which just reinforces that they need more support, training, and time. In the future, we recommend that projects do consider more support and supervision of coaches using measurable indicators to monitor their performance. So in our own project, we definitely have provided lots of support, training, and even job descriptions with indicators to each coach, but we think we can really refine that and enhance it moving forward. On behalf of my colleagues, Olivia, Paula, and Zaida, we thank you for your participation, and our contact information is displayed below if you'd like to be in touch.